Welcome back everybody to Join Dota League season number 3. It's the Asian Division 1 first departure versus Kingdom in this 2-game series. We have already reached game number 2 after an exciting game number 1. Man, it was just such a great game all in all. But we are here now in the draft. I'm Coucher and once again I'm joined by Blackadder.
I am looking forward to this game. This is going to be one hell of a brawl, I think. We've just had an hour and 2 minutes of an absolute slobber knocker. And right now we're going into number 2 of it. We get a Razor for our first pick.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not the most fun of heroes, but man, we had a faceless void last game, but it turned out to be pretty damn great. So, first departure, what will they go in return now? There's a Brewmaster potentially available. Skyroth Mage, Shadow Shaman.
Well, I think Brewmaster Shadow Shaman could be one hell of an opening, and that would not surprise me at all.
Yeah, I mean, Brewmaster definitely a strong hero. They start with a Viper though. Possibly maybe a Nature's Prophet to come even here. Nope, Viper Brewmaster it is.
Well, Viper Brewmaster certainly works. I mean, we were right at least on the Brewmaster, and Viper pretty decent up against Razor, but can the Viper really bring enough to this game, I wonder? One of the best tanky mech carriers around. And first departure, let's see what they can do with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a strong start, just taking two extremely strong core heroes straight off the bat. Both are rather mid-game focused as well. So, we might be looking at yet another action fest. As Kingdom, they have the Razor, possibly Shadow Shaman. Skyroth Mage, of course, would be extremely good up against the Brewmaster, just the Ancient Seal. And of course, all in all, the Mystic Flare is such a sick ability, and yeah, that's what they go for.
Well, Skyroth Mage, we know how powerful it is just from game number 1, and, well, I'm honestly wondering what we're going to see paired with this, considering the Void is removed. Do we see Skyroth Mage, Earthshaker perhaps?
I mean, one of those two, or the combination rather, definitely would be a strong one. It's either like Brave King or Earthshaker. Actually, I guess the one thing that has been gaining some popularity is Skyroth Mage, Juggernaut as well, potentially. But first departure have been the ones running it, not Kingdom, so I guess it's still out there, although I would prefer actually the Earthshaker at the moment, just have a solid stun.
A solid stun would be what I think is necessary, and going into the second ban phase, goodbye Nature's Prophet. At least I'm happy at that. I'm expecting a ban on Tinker at some point as well.
Yeah, I mean, Tinker ban, I definitely would be on board for that at least. Tinker, you never want to see that hero. Well, some people do, but I really don't. But Nature's Prophet with Tidehunter taken out in the first bans as in the second phase. Tidehunter, of course, really good offlaner, just extremely strong ultimate. But Kingdom, I mean, banning out the Nature's Prophet, do they target some more push now? For example, the Shadow Shaman, or banning out some offlaners potentially?
It could be the order of business, banning out the offlaners, but who do you then ban out? I mean, you take away Shadow Shaman, yes, I completely agree. Do you take out the Earthshaker? Most likely. I mean, you already see the Tide banned out. Removing those big teamfight ultimates is a very key thing to do.
Oh, we will see how they want to go about this. I mean, you can already see from the speed of the draft that they have just slowed it down compared to game number 1. Just thinking about it a little bit harder because, man, game number 1, it must have been really exhausting mentally as well for them. I mean, such a long game and such an even one as well. It's always so hard.
I would be completely inclined to agree, and it's mentally exhausting for them. Mentally exhausting for us too in the caster role. This is just, it's an absolute joy to watch, though.
Yeah, it was indeed. I mean, for a second I actually thought first departure might even hold the last push once they got the kills on Ember Spirit, but Luna, he just kept on going, the bouncing glaives, the moon glaives bouncing around, just doing a little bit too much. But Naga Siren was banned out actually by Kingdom, so kind of respect banning it, and although it was in a support role, it did still accomplish quite a lot in the last game.
Indeed, it did accomplish quite a lot, and honestly, I'm wondering what it'll accomplish in this next one. Should we see it? I mean, well, it's going to be banned this time, but certainly, yeah.
Well, first departure, they're now at their own 4th ban here as well, banning out the Shadow Shaman. Can't say I'm overly surprised, although them having the first pick in this phase would have expected for them to actually have some need for that hero, especially considering Brewmaster and Viper, they're really not the best heroes for just straight out pushing. They're really good at brawling and fighting, but just some form of push, as well as Mass Serpent Wards, would have allowed them to go for Roshan earlier as well. But not to be this time around. So first departure, 3rd pick about to come. Do they go for the core, or yeah, it supports instead of Ancient Apparition? Okay.
I think we're maybe looking for an AA tri-lane off the back of that. I mean, Viper, Ancient Apparition, plus something as a tri-lane. Very powerful combination, and it needs to be 3 range. So, honestly, part of me expects a Witch Doctor.
Yeah, I mean, I would love a Witch Doctor. It's always fun to see that hero just... Man, the Death Ward has the potential to just wreck everybody completely. And Paralyzing Cask, it either can be kind of a useless stun or one of the best stuns, depending on how well the enemy spreads out or how lucky you are. So, I definitely wouldn't mind it at all, to be honest. Even an Earthshaker wouldn't be all that bad, just... Earthshaker is so good for the poke, just Fissure into Ice Blast already might be enough to kill off the supports.
Might be enough, yeah. If they can kill off the supports with that combination, that could be pretty damn good. But still, I'm wondering here what First Departure's goal is here and who their other core hero is going to be, because we still need one more core for First Departure with their standard style of 3 core.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on really if they want to maybe, or if they want to run an aggressive tri lane. If they do, Brewmaster can easily go up safe lane up against whatever enemy off lane is going to be there from Kingdom. So they have space for either a safe lane farmer or potentially a mid laner. And well, they pick up a Rubik now. It's a solid support all in all. Maybe it doesn't have the greatest of spells to steal at the moment. I mean, Plasma Field, it's a nice nuke, additional nuke for them. Skyrift Mage, possibly Mystic Flare. But no huge ultimates yet to just take away.
No, none yet. So that's the key thing. But still, Rubik AA Viper is one hell of an aggressive tri-lane. And this could do a lot of work in the game. You consider a tri-range AA lane, it can destroy pretty much anyone.
Yeah, it definitely can. I mean, it's so much damage, and just having 3 ranged heroes with Chilling Touch, it's something you'd never want to go up against as Kingdom. Maybe if they went for something like an Earthshaker, they could actually stand in a tri-lane versus tri-lane as well if Kingdom were running a safe one. Just with the Fissure blocks, and Mirana having the leap as well. But even then, do you think Kingdom should actually try to dodge that tri-lane completely?
Yeah, I can't see them winning a tri-v-tri situation against that tri-lane. I mean, unless they do something funky like Undying or Visage, the tri-lane destroyers. But I haven't seen those 2 heroes wheeled out in quite a while.
Yeah, I mean, Undying I've seen a couple of, but only a handful of teams also like to run it. I mean, there are just some teams that go for the more unorthodox drafts more often than others, but at the moment we are seeing rather standard ones by both teams here.
Indeed, quite standard across the board. And for Kingdom, I will say one of their stand-ins have tagged out. They've got Fruits in, which is one of their core to begin with, and they're going to pick up the Ember for Kingdom. So we've got Ember, Mirana, Skywrath, and Razor at this point. So I'm beginning to think this is a support Mirana.
Yeah, it's most like, I guess they can run it as an off lane as well. There's still the potential to just have like a Razor safe lane, Ember Spirit mid, Mirana Skyrift +1 on an aggressive tri lane, but considering what First Departure will have as their own tri lane, I'm not too sure if Kingdom wants to go for it.
No, I'm inclined to agree. It would be a very odd one. We get a Shadow Demon ban at First Departure, which does make some sense. I mean, Mirana, Shadow Demon, very powerful combination.
Yeah, it most certainly is. I mean, just one of the best setups really for the arrow. Nightmare might be a little bit better from Bane just because it's... I mean, you can't time it wrong. It's not like the arrow will pass through the Nightmare target. So, might be a little bit stronger. Actually, I wouldn't mind a Bane horribly much at the moment. Just Fiend's Grip up the Brewmaster as well, for example. Although, having said that, Rubik, he would have an extremely easy time to steal Fiend's Grip.
He would. If he can steal Fiend's Grip, that would be one hell of a combination. But I'm wondering what we're going to see for the final pick here for First Departure. I mean, we've got our tri-lane, we've got our potential mid or off lane. We're looking for a mid or an off lane, or potentially a safe laner solo. Weaver comes to mind. I mean, if you want a hero that can really work with Ancient Apparition, Weaver is probably the best, but it'll be a bat instead, bringing more control to the lineup of FD.
Oh man, it's... I mean, their lineup is pretty damn strong, for sure. They can fight and do so early, but can they get the towers? And even if they do get the outer towers, going high ground, it's going to be so damn hard for their lineup.
Indeed, it's going to be hard for the lineup, and honestly, it's going to be up to them to show us that they can deal with it.
I mean, First Departure, I feel like at the moment they have to crush this pretty damn early on, because once again, if it comes to a late game, Ember Spirit and Razor definitely having the upper hand up against First Departure, and even the support Mirana can transition into somewhat of a semi-carry depending on how good the start she has as Kingdom. Going for a Sand King, and I mean, Mirana might still be a core here as Sand King. Played by Smash, she should be a support.
I have a feeling it's a Mirana tri-lane. Safe lane Razor, and then Ember mid.
Oh man, it's not too bad, to be honest, but if you go for an aggressive tri-lane, Sand King, he can stack up the jungle, and if your aggressive tri-lane fails, where do you rely on? I mean, you don't have the just backup of going into the jungle with Sandstorm, farming up that fast Blink Dagger afterwards, and I guess even if you do go for that stacking of the jungle, there's a Batrider on the opposing side, so might just steal it a little bit earlier, but Miracle, he's the one to pick up Batrider of all heroes.
Well, this surprises me. I expected Miracle to potentially take the Viper here, but Daffer's going to be taking that, and I've been seeing him in the offlane, so I'm thinking safe lane Batrider, aggressive try Rubik AA Viper. At least that's my best guess. But nonetheless, I think we should introduce the players.
Yes, for Kingdom, on the Radiant side, Smashy will be playing the Sand King, leaving Fruits, who now finally joined Kingdom as well, on the Skyrock Mage. Star to play the Mirana, Yomo Kompaku on the Ember, and Desolé will play the Razor. And actually, Desolé, he was the Ember in the last game, right?
Yes, he was.
So switching it up a little bit, maybe it's an indication of where they will lane as well. Desolé was playing the mid lane last time around, so... Actually, was he? Yeah, the Ember Spirit was mid lane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so might be Razor mid lane now instead, and we'll see which one. First departure KS. Never mind. Go over the lineup.
Well, for first departure, we've got KS on the Brewmaster, over on the safe lane potentially. We have Daffer on the Viper. He's going to be backed up, of course, by Kai on the Ancient Apparition and Lubby on the Rubik. This does, of course, leave an off-lane Batrider played by Miracle.
Yeah, it's something you don't see every day. I mean, I've seen Miracle offlane Doombringers, but that was up against solo laners as well. They, of course, might be expecting an aggressive tri-lane themselves, since otherwise Ember Spirit or Razor, not the best of offlane heroes, although I guess Mirana solo offlane is still a possibility as well. Have just Ember Spirit farm up safe lane, or the Razor and the other one mid, but Smashy, can he get close enough for the Burrow Strike? He gets it onto Toffa, where's the follow-up? The arrow will land as well perfectly from the telekinesis, and it's gonna be first blood. Smashy actually draws it as well on the Sand King. Man, Kingdom, they're off to a good start again.
Indeed, and a start like this can all add up. I mean, you already had Brown Boots onto the Sand King with his starting items, considering how aggressive he's going to be playing. We're looking for a early pair of Arcane Boots for Smashy, and if he can get that, he is absolutely golden. Of course, he could decide to go into the jungle and start trying to work up towards a early Blink Dagger, but I think the earlier Arcane Boots will save his team a little bit of hassle, and it'll give them a better advantage in the early lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's always nice if you can grab the fast Arcane Boots. Sand Kings mostly do rush the Blink Dagger, but I am definitely on board with just the early Arcane Boots, helping out the entire team. But we do have a pause.
I'm beginning to expect pauses, and I really don't like it when I'm right.
Yeah, it just happens every now and then. I mean, they say he crashed, but I'm just hoping that Dota crashed and he can just come back straight in, not like, oh, computer crashed and he's screwed for life.
Screwed for life. That's a little harsh, man.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
a little bit harsh.
Well, depending on your financial situation and how the computer crashes, it might be true, man. But
Remind me to deal with you later.
man, thank God we live a few countries apart.
I don't know, my rage can go through the net.
Holy crap, man, holy crap. But the lanes for first departure, they are running a safe lane tri-lane unless they choose to just swap it around in the last second. As Mirana has reconnected as well, so must have been just the Dota crash.
With any luck, hopefully, yes. And we are back underway, and going into this game, I'm going to happily put my bet down on first departure. I was wrong in game number 1. I'm hoping I'm not wrong again.
Well, I'm just gonna go for Kingdom then, just for the sake of it, and I just feel the power of their high ground defense and just how first departure in game number 1 failed to break it properly. I'm afraid this might be the case here as well, but we will see. Smashy will already start up the jungling here, just stacking things up. As Miracle, look at him, he's doing what usually lone druids do with spirit bears.
Well, he's going to cut the creep wave, certainly, and honestly, this is a pretty damn important thing. He's going to take away a large chunk of the ability to farm safely here for Kingdom, and it's going to give him some experience as well. In fact, if he drags us towards mid lane, he could give the extra experience and advantage towards the mid Brewmaster by KS, but Desolate, in the meantime, will be stealing some damage, and it's a case that the Batrider just wants to get the CS the best he can. I mean, Miracle cutting the wave like this does give him at least some safe farm, some safe gold, and a little bit of an advantage going into this lane. I mean, when the Batrider hits level 2, has the sticky napalm to start spamming, that's the potential for a Batrider to get a kill.
I mean, Batrider is just such a lane bully, to be honest. The sticky napalm, so hard to deal with, and Yomo, he picks up boots early on. If he's actually left solo here, most likely we'll go for the magic stick as well, but I'm pretty sure one support will just always be here to just defend him.
I'm actually going to be very interested in how well Yomu does on the Ember, considering we saw him playing the Shadow Shaman in Game 1, and he did okay until he started getting completely focused by the Windrunner of Miracle.
Yeah, I mean, he played pretty damn good, just setting up the early kills and actually allowing Kingdom to get that earlier lead. As Yomo actually, never mind, Miracle will back off. I thought for a second maybe he's gonna go as aggressive, but not to be. But offlane wise, it's rather even. Miracle almost level 3 compared to Stars. Well, they're pretty much on the same XP level at the moment.
Well, as long as it stays that way, there will be no big discrepancy between the two teams. But still, I have to consider the threat that the Batrider can perform versus, say, a Mirana. I mean, the Mirana can do so much, yes, but a Batrider is the big initiating force. He jumps in, gets that lasso, 4 staffs out. If he can do that to the Ember Spirit, that's a one fight near enough, because they can kill Ember with their level of physical damage, specifically with the Viper. But now it's going to be a turnaround. They're going to try to focus on Mikasa. The Ember Chains hit him. He gets hit with the Burrow Strike again. Miracle will actually fall.
Yeah, just extremely well set up. The concussion shot into the Searing Chain, just buying barely enough time for Smashy to get in range for that level 1 Burrow Strike only. And look at this, they smoke out straight after. They are not done yet. They want more kills early, especially on this Brewmaster here, I think. Man, I love Kingdom's early aggression.
You and me both. Early aggression makes the game work for me. It's just such a fun thing to watch. And we are looking for a potential on a kill onto KS here, but KS is going to fall back. He realizes something's amiss. Going to help block up the creep wave a little bit, but surely he's not going to get picked off here. The supports are ready to rotate in. They do have that concussive shot as well as the Burrow Strike ready to go. KS could be in a lot of trouble here, and here we go. Concussive to start this off. He's getting all of his damage drained. Where's the Burrow Strike in? There it is. Lubby's here as well, though. Telekinesis gets thrown into Fruit, throws it into Smashing Desolate. That's going to buy time, and Rubik is the lifesaver here. Lubby on point.
Yeah, I think it would have been 100% a kill otherwise. Just so much damage stolen. I mean, Desolate, he would have hit for 150 damage, a little bit extra even. So nicely done, like you said, on point on the Rubik. And he's actually just stacking up the jungle in the meantime, so that's why he was there. So Batrider, even if he's struggling a little bit here, he will have the stacks. He's going for Yomo at the moment. Searing Chains come out, and Miracle, I don't think he can get the kill. 3 stacks of Sticky Napalm. Yeah, he would have to dive too far, I think.
Yeah, he can't get that. I mean, it's good aggression. It forces Yomu out of the lane, at least for a little bit. It helps Miracle get some gold as well. I mean, he's going to continue farming up. He's already got his Tranquils. We're just looking for a Blink Dagger, really, just so he can really open up with the level of aggression we expect out of Miracle.
Yeah, I think, usually as a Batrider, if you can get actually on top of the hero and he will also burn in the Firefly, then you can actually chase for the kill. But if he's actually outrunning the Firefly at all times, the hero is most likely going to be safe.
It's just the downside of the Batrider early on. If you can stay ahead of the Firefly, you're safe. But for all intent and purposes, 2 kills early advantage towards Kingdom, and I am honestly looking for rotations and ganks. And you do have Miracle lurking near this mid lane. He can't be thinking, surely. Telekinesis to start. The Sticky Napalm is more than enough. DD popped by Razor, but it's nowhere near going to save his life. A good kill going the way of the Brewmaster. Was supported by Miracle. I generally don't expect to see a Batrider rotate around the map before level 6. This was actually a very good rotation.
Yeah, it's just excellent. He wasn't doing all that hot on the bottom lane as it is anyway. And actually, they even made Yomo waste the TP there, so 135 gold plus some mana down the drain for Kingdom. So really nice gank into the mid lane from first departure, and they need to just keep up stacking as well as getting something on Miracle, since once you get the Blink Dagger, you can really just turn up the aggression.
Indeed, and turning up that aggression is what we really want to see. The more aggression, the better. And we do have that potential initiation from Smashy. They're going to go on to KS, gets his damage drain. Arrow going to fly through, doesn't connect though, and that's going to be a very safe Brewmaster.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're trying at the moment. Since Sand King, he's just stacking up in between the ganking tries anyway at the moment. Look at this camp already. He's going to farm it up. It's a quad one, I want to say. Yes, a quad camp.
Oh, this is going to get him his dagger, most likely, or at least a good way towards it. And having an early dagger on a Sand King is the difference between winning and losing a game, but it does not matter. Take a look at the lanes elsewise. You've got Skyrath Mage killing the Batrider, and Batrider killing the Skyrath Mage.
Of course, main Kingdom coming out ahead, getting a core kill like that, and Batrider didn't get the XP for it, but I mean, any gold Batrider he will definitely take at this point in time. But actually, we haven't looked at Mirana at all. He's level 5 in his own offlane at the moment. 3 and 0 though, not getting any last hits at all almost, but he will at the very least have the Moonlight Shadow to work with soon enough.
Or with Moonlight Shadow, when they have that, they can look to rotate and gank that a little bit easier, but I still wonder. Well, we haven't talked about Star equally, we haven't really talked about Daffa. And he's got his level 7 near enough now. He's going to have 4 points up in the corrosive skin, most likely. Yes, he does. And he's going to be incredibly hard to kill. He also has 2 full components of a mechanism. All he's missing is the recipe now. And with that full mech, we are just looking for the ability to brawl, to fight as a team. But Concussive Shot's going to fly. Daffa does get close, but now he turns around, gets the Viper Strike onto Star. It's going to buy some time, but the silence is there. Can they kill this Viper? Yes, they damn well can.
Oh man, but look at how much damage they took, man. It was a 3-for-1, and that's just the power of a Viper. Maxed out corrosive skin as well. Mirana, nice aggressive leap into the arrow, just making it so that Smashy can actually get in range. But look at mid lane Mikasa. Miracle is coming again. He has the last out this time around, but the Haste Rune Razor, he's just safe.
Haste Rune Razor, the lifesaver. We've seen so many Haste Runes in the last few days, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was... What Ember Spirit? Oh yeah, it was Kechi Kimba's Ember Spirit, I think, for Invasion.
Yeah.
Just haste after haste after haste.
We've seen so many Haste Runes. It seems to be the most common rune at the moment, even though I know they're all equal charms. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, I guess the Haste Runes are the ones that just pop out more. Like Illusions is like, meh. Yeah, whatever. You have an Illusion Rune.
Yeah, they stand out more. Haste Runes and DT Runes stand out more than most.
But KS now, he's only 600 gold away from his own Blink Dagger. Will be able to bottle up. Actually, oh, never mind. He won't get the Illusion Rune. He's gonna get chased down here. He's going for the TP out. Wow.
Indeed, he's going to be safe. KS can't stand and fight that either. He did have Primal Split potentially available, but he didn't have the mana to cast it. That was the big downside there for him. I mean, we haven't really seen much of the Primal Split yet anyway. I don't think we've seen a single use of it.
Yeah, he's just been in the mid lane and really hasn't had the proper opportunity to go for it. I mean, solo killing a Razor is going to be extremely hard as it is anyway, especially with him having a Hatress and a Buckler already.
Well...
Oh, Miracle, he's so close, only 120 off now.
I was about to say, Miracle's about to get his Blink Dagger, and when that Blink Dagger comes online, it's on. It is really the start of the game for First Departure when they have Miracle with a Blink.
Yeah, I mean, actually, it's a pretty nice timing as well, 9 minutes in together with Tranquil Boost. Considering he died twice. Of course, he's been a part of 2 kills as well, but that's all easy overextending a little bit. No more Rubik. He doesn't come on as aggressively for the telekinesis, but 4-2 now, but First Departure, this Blink Dagger. Is he gonna buy a smoke now as well? Or is he just waiting for a TP gold?
I actually think it's going to be TP gold. I don't think he wants to smoke. He wants to TP onto lane, and he wants to just continue his onslaught. He especially wants to try to kill the Ember Spirit. He can certainly do so, but Ember Spirit's going to TP back to base to regenerate his mana, and then just go back to his Remnant. This is one of the strengths of the Ember. You can just keep your mana full, just like a Tinker would, and just go back to the Remnant every damn time.
You mean, I thought actually he's gonna purchase up the recipe for that drums instead, but he went for a Robe of Magi. Otherwise he could have finished it up at the side shop as well. I mean, he's not that far, but looks like they are the ones who want to set up a kill, man. Fruits, if only he was level 6, he needs like 1 more creep for it only.
Indeed, and when he's got Mystic Flare, well, I don't really need to say anything else than just those words, Mystic Flare, or as I like to call it, the Ion Cannon.
But Miracle, he's going aggressive as all hell at the moment. Will he find anybody? Moonlight Shadow comes out and... Well, Miracle, he has to back off, but the sentry is down. Oh, this might be epic bait.
I think it is. They're going to go here potentially onto the Ember, but just look how defensive the Bat is. He doesn't really want to risk getting caught, but Yomu comes in anyway. They're going to try to bring down Mikasa, but they pop the last. He's going to be forced further into the tree line, and he's just dead. He cannot escape. That's a pretty big kill going towards the Razor, but in comes the flank from the back line, and the Primal Split Blades get cancelled by a Ancient Seal. buys some good time. The Mystic Flare drops as well, but it's nowhere near enough. The Epicenter is there in the backlines. It is stolen by Lubby. That's pretty good, but he's going to get nothing off the back of it. Or is he? Star, is he going to take the damage from it? No. It's not got enough range on it at this point, and Smashy will go down. So that's a triple kill for Daffa at the loss of a Bat Rider. A 4-for-1.
Well, Miracle, he was acting as the perfect bait. I mean, everybody backed off into the small corner suddenly. Brewmaster came in, Thunderclap. I think he hit at least 3 enemy heroes plus. Before that, all 4 heroes chasing them, they were chasing in the Firefly. So, it was definitely not the best place to go. They expected the rest of First Departure to back off completely and leave the Batrider to die there, but not the case. Although Daffa gonna get slowed down. Can they get the Searing Chains to follow up as well? Arrow will not connect. Or actually, never mind. It did connect thanks to the Searing Chains. So they will get that 1 extra counter kill here, but still, man, First Departure, they got such a good fight. I mean, yes, it's bad that they lost the Viper, but I think they're fine with it.
Yeah, I would be completely in agreement, and the Ember Guard is stolen by Lubby, so he's going to have some extra survivability available to him. And from where we sit right now, 11 minutes in, we've got a 1,000 gold lead for First Departure, and equally just over a 1,500 lead in experience for First Departure as well. So they have the edge for now, but can they keep it? We've seen, I want to say, creative throwing in game number 1, but from what I see in this game, advantage First Departure.
Yeah, it's definitely looking better for them. Of course, Kingdom, they had the early advantage last game as well. They did lose it at some point, but it was a little bit later on. Sand King, does he have his Blink Dagger wall? He's only 80 gold short. Too bad he died in the last fight, but he's still gonna get it with this camp here, just with the Sandstorm farming it up. So they will have their own Blink initiation as well for them. And do they have anything else? Just B coming up. That's all he has. His mech finished already. Had it for the last fight, I do believe.
Yeah, he did have the mech, which is going to help them out certainly. But I'm wondering how much more we can expect to see out of Kingdom in terms of aggression now they have that Blink Dagger.
I think they still can't go too aggressive at the moment. They're most likely just aiming at taking a fight at the tower at the moment, defend the tower, and just hope to surprise them with the Epicenter Blink.
Well, if they can catch him with the Blink Epi combo, that could completely derail First Departure and put them on tilt if they don't expect it. But surely they must realize the dagger will be online soon, if not now. And it's going to be a case they're going to push the tier 1 on the bot lane. Equally, Kingdom push the tier 1 in the mid lane. So it's going to be a tower for a tower trade at this point in.
Yeah, Kingdom actually a little bit slower. The Glyph came out as well, which is already in cooldown for the Radiant side. So First part of the game, maybe even defend. Miracle, he wants to come in. He has the gem actually on himself as well, but didn't want to go in solo. He's gonna get fruits, but Searing Chase. If they lose the gem here, it's gonna be horrible for them. The gem, the arrow rather comes out on the Miracle. He does die, but can somebody recover the gem? Yes, they can. Daffa, he's alive. There's the Epicenter thrown up in the air though. Doesn't do that much at all. Ice Blast to fly finally. Doesn't connect properly, but there's the Burrow stack onto 2 enemy heroes. It's a 1-for-1 so far. A core for a support. A Smashy probably gonna lose his life, but man, only 2 kills.
Make that potentially 3. Desolé will fall as well, but Desolé did get 2 kills in the meantime. So that's a 3-for-2 trade in favor of First Departure, of course. Make that 4-for-2, but from where we sit, the gem is still firmly in the hands of First Departure, in my knowledge. Do we have the gem?
Yeah, Rubik.
Yeah, we do on the Rubik. As long as they have the gem, they have one hell of a advantage their way, though.
Yeah, it's, man, I was afraid for a second there. Batrider coming in like that, getting arrowed as well to follow up. But Daffa picked up the gem first, so made it so that nobody can actually run away with it. Arrow will not hit Yomo, but once again, great fight for First Departure there. Just powering through, and of course Primal Split, it's so hard to fight into early on.
Indeed it is, and still from where we stand, I don't think the aggression is over yet. They're going to continue throwing concussive shots, forcing KS back, and do we have the potential to fight again in this mid lane?
Well, it's definitely a possibility considering how many cores and actually, well, everybody from Kingdom, they're around. They want a tier 1 tower, I guess. It's down to 600 HP. Should be an easy target in theory, especially with the Primal Split being on cooldown, but we do have Ice Blast online, so a nice Ice Blast into just Blink Thunderclap might already be enough to just kill the supports, for example.
But Ice Blast's going to fly through. It's going to impact on Star, but only Star. They need to find some good initiation off the back of this one, and they do have the ability to jump in with KS. Do we have that Blink? Yes, we do, and he wants to fight, but now comes the aggression coming in from Kingdom. They're going to bring down Lubby. Not a chance for him to escape, and that's a pretty good pick-off. Are they going to push for more off the back of this one?
Well, in theory they could. I'm not too sure how well they know the cooldown of the Prime Split at the moment, so may not want to risk it. Although, Yomo, he should be ready. Flame Guard expires, so they're not gonna take the chance at the moment. There's a Miracle farming up the enemy jungle in the meantime. He's gonna run into Desolé, but yeah, he just blinks out to safety.
Well, Mikasa, or Miracle, can just keep this up time and time again. I mean, he's almost got his 4 stuff. He has the gem back. He's looking just for those jump-ins and initiations. And speaking of initiations and jump-ins, Star, going to eat a Viper Strike, did leap away, but he did keep the strike first. And it will be a tower going down in favor of the Dire side. First departure, getting the map control, it seems.
Yeah, it's looking pretty damn good. It's 2 towers for 1 at the moment. Not the biggest of advantages, but I don't think the mid tier 1 will stand for all that long, as first departure they've smoked up. They have all of their ultimates ready apart from the Viper Strike, and they are just hoping that anybody will come defend this.
Well, if anyone comes to defend, it could be a complete slaughter. But they want to start pressure on the tier 2 tower. And you can see the line being drawn here by Miracle on the bat. He wants to flank in the side like so. And if they can catch anything up on this lane, it will be an absolute slaughter. But in the meantime, the backlines, they pop the Moonlight Shadow. This could be huge. They're going to go in. Fruits is going to be the focus. In comes the Primal Split. Miracle will try to grab and will get successfully the Ember Spirit, but in comes the Epicenter, doing some good damage across the board. Now the Razor, but the mechs pop. They need to turn around. They want to go on to Desolate, but equally the Mirana jumps across the ledge. Doesn't want to get involved in this, and Yomo is back. In comes the arrow. Does impact the Batrider, but they lose the Rubik in exchange. So it's a 3-for-1 as we stand right now, and make that potentially a 4th one. If they can bring down this Razor, that'll be huge. The Thunderclap, the slow is there, as well as the Urn. There is just too much damage. There is no escape for Desolate, and that's a double kill for Dafa, as well as a 4-for-1 in favor of first departure.
Actually, it was even a 5-for-1. Okay, he eats an arrow, so he dies, but a 5-for-2 in the end. Ember Spirit actually bought back for this as well. So suddenly, 17 minutes in, he only has Space Boots, Storms, and Magic Wand. He is nowhere near his first Battle Fury being finished. This is just so crippling, having Ember Spirit die twice here, having it die back, and they still lost the tier 2 as well, man. First departure, 15 to 11. I'm just giving the graphs a little bit of time to update, but it's probably gonna be a huge difference there. And Aghanim Scepter already finished in the Brewmaster as well.
Yeah, I think first departure just looking to fight. They don't want to give up any more advantage. And from where I sit, they can just keep shunting tier 2s. Tier 2 mid, tier 2 bottom, both are valid targets at this point in the game, and it's only a matter of time. Hell, make that tier 1 mid, that thing still stands.
I mean, first departure, in theory, they could go for Roshan as well, with Brewmaster tanking it up potentially. I mean, I guess they don't have the most or the fastest one. Chilling Touch definitely will help speed up things a little bit, but if they had Roshan, if they had Aegis, they could definitely just go pressure even more.
Honestly, that would not surprise me just to see more aggression, more pressure. But from where we sit, what do we have coming up online for Kingdom? We're still far away from a Battle Fury for Yomu. Over on the Skywrath, no 4-staff, no Arcanes. We've got an Ice Blast going top. It hits Star, and speaking of Star, he's going for a Maelstrom, but he's still a good 600 gold away from finishing that one off.
It is just not looking good on any front for Kingdom. I mean, at least Desolé has a reasonable amount of farm, but first departure, they have the 1 to 3 spots on net worth at the moment. So looking good, and they just want to keep on with the pressure, it looks like, at least slowly. They are waiting for Miracle to actually arrive as well, who has a 4-staff finish now. So without the gem, they don't really want to take any chances running into Moonlight Shadows.
If they get caught by Moonlight Shadow, it could be all over but for the crying, but time for a smoke. It seems first departure just want to keep their level of aggression, and they've drawn the line, but they're going a different route for now. They're going to loop into the jungle, maybe look for the tier 2 bottom instead of going for the tier 1 mid, and that will completely throw off the lineup of Kingdom. They can't see this one coming, and Yomu will be the focus here. Does he have a Remnant down? I don't think he does. No, he's got all of them, and there's the lasso. They're going to go straight onto Yomu, just held in place. The Ice Path is there. Too much damage. Surely he's going to go down, and yes, they cannot keep the Ember alive.
Well, farming without the Remnant, it's too risky of a thing to do, to be honest. You should always have a Remnant behind. Then, even, I mean, you could just escape without even getting lasso, to be honest, if you're fast enough. But now, they're gonna lose a tier 2 as well. It was a perfectly timed just gank from first departure. The lane was pushing out at the same time as they killed whoever defended.
And with this tier 2 falling, I think it's only a matter of time before we see the focus go to that tier 1 in the middle lane finally. And the line is drawn, they're gonna retreat, they're gonna reset, re-engage.
Well, first departure, man, it's just looking so damn good, especially considering that Ember Spirit, he's been kept down so damn nicely so far in this game. Star will have his Maelstrom finished at the very least, but it's not that scary at all. Ice Blast, they're not gonna catch them. Miracle is trying to go for it, but Star, he has leap. I think he should be fine. Flame break though. That's all he comes in as well. So Miracle, he's gonna have to think twice.
Oh, he's just going to go up to the high ground. He should be safe up there. I don't think they have vision. And Star still takes a large amount of damage. And Miracle might look for more off the back of this one. Firefly's running down, so he needs to get off that cliff. But it's still all good. They've just forced back the 3 heroes on that top lane. And that's going to be a 3 tier 1. No contest.
And looks like they want to go Roshan at least. By the way, they're moving at the moment. Maybe going for ganks instead or just counter warding. But wow, there's a BKB finished on Dafa now. Can definitely tank it up. Kai working towards an Aghanim Scepter on that Ancient Apparition. Is still a solid 1.7k away, but I mean, you can't really expect him to have more farm 21 minutes in on a support Ancient Apparition.
When the Ancient Apparition gets the Aghanims, that's going to be completely devastating. You've got to always remember that is probably the strongest Aghanims upgrade that we see frequently in professional Dota. It is scary. 18-second duration. No one wants to be on the receiving end of that. You've got to consider how squishy the lineup of Kingdom still are. The Ember, 1,100 health, 872 on the Skyrack, less than 1,000 on the Mirana, as well as the Sand King. This is going to be very rough. And the Aegis goes the way of the Viper. The gold for the Roshan as well, that's 1,000 towards First Departure. And First Departure are in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's I don't even know how Kingdom can actually fight into this. I mean, they definitely can, having an Epicenter. Unfortunately, it's still only level 1. It does a pretty nice amount of damage, but First Departures, the cores that are probably going to be in the front lines, as in the Brewmaster as well as the Viper, they're just so damn tanky, and Viper even has a BKB, so magic damage means nothing to him.
Indeed, and well, in all honesty, I'm just looking for the next big jump in. All it'll take is a little bit of damage and a little advantage the way of First Departure, and it's going to be a case tier 2 mid, possibly tier 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's just looking so good, them being able to destroy almost every single outer tower as it is this early on, to be honest, with not actually having any proper pushers in their lineup. So it just goes to show how aggressive they've been, and well, if you just kill off all the enemy, or at least enough to make it so the Kingdom can't resist at all, and just 5 heroes, it's enough push when all of them can actually properly right-click at the tower.
Indeed, completely agreed. And, well, this level of aggression, getting these many towers on a lineup that is incredibly teamfight oriented, hell, gank oriented, it's nigh unheard of. Seeing a draft like this is just pure gold. Just seeing the level of aggression. Sure, we're 23 minutes in, 16 kills for First Departure. Kingdom aren't trailing by that much. It's only 5 kills, but it's these towers that are making a big difference. It's a 10,000, make that 11, nearly 12,000 gold lead just because of the towers.
Yeah, it's just absolutely sick amounts of farm on First Departure at the moment. I mean, even last hit-wise, they're doing a little bit better than Kingdom is. Well, most likely because Yomu's still just working towards that Battle Fury of his. If he gets that, maybe he can just start farming a little bit faster, but Dafa, with the Aegis, he is just slowly but surely taking care of the tier 2.
Indeed, and as soon as that tier 2 falls, it might be all over but for the crying for Kingdom. I mean, they need their outer towers. They're going to lose complete control over Roshan. They're pinging the tier 1 on that bot lane, but if they lose a tier 1 for the tier 2, I think it's still worth it. Arrow's going to fly through. Doesn't quite hit KS. It's just going to be a case we're going to take the tier 2 without contest. Or maybe with contest. Oh, Miracle. Thinking about it. Getting a little bit ballsy. Ice Spot's going to fly as well. But now we get the jump in from KS. Primal Split is there. They're going to pop the Moonlight Shadow, but where is the aggression? Desolate going to be the main focus here. They're going to try to bring him down. You've got the Storm Panda as well in the middle of the base, looking to just cause harassment, and they will lose the Razor off the back of this one. It's time for the tier 3, and the pressure is just being applied and turned up ever so slightly. You also do have Yomu. He's looking to split push in the meantime, but split pushing and not getting a tower is not going to be anywhere near enough. Even if he gets a tower, they may lose too much. Just look at the level of aggression out of First Departure. They do not care that they're at the enemy's base. They're just going to continue. And they can. They seriously can. KS is just going to start whacking at this tower. You have the threat of Miracle ready to go, and he jumps in. The Mystic Flare drops on him, though, and they lose him. Equally, they lose the Sand King, so it's going to be a Batrider for Sand King at the end of the day. And Gems on the deck, but that's going to be picked up by KS. Still, from where we sit, it's a buyback from Razor. They're just going to fall back at this point. But Dafa hanging around maybe a little bit too long. He does have the Aegis, and stolen damage from the Viper is going to be a very big thing. Desolate does have plus 84 damage. And where is the defense? Where is the ability to escape? BKB pop. Viper's fighting back into this, and he wants to try to get what he can. The Brewmaster tries to blink him, but doesn't catch anything. The Storm just doing too much. And Fruit continuing to survive on very low health, and I'm surprised he doesn't manage to finish fruits off at least.
It has begun. The throws are coming again.
Don't even jest.
Man, they're going high ground and they're staying just way too long. And actually what happened at the moment is Brewmaster, he blinked straight into an arrow. The arrow was meant for the Viper, but Brewmaster, he just came in and tanked it up, although Viper had a BKB anyway, so he just couldn't do anything but die. So Kingdom, they're still holding on, man. Yes, first departure, they're still very much so in the lead, and probably if they actually go properly, they will get it as well. I mean, this time around, Batrider, he wanted to go so damn deep, but Smashy, he was expecting it to Burrow Strike straight as he blinked on. He wanted to actually go for Star. So, man, Kingdom, they're holding on at the very least. First departure, they're gonna have to make a slightly better effort of high ground push next time.
I completely agree. I mean, there's a reason whenever I cast, whenever I play games, I turn around and go, objectives, objectives, objectives. Objective gaming is the key to winning. Diving too deep for kills, that'll make you throw and lose the game quicker than anything else in the game of Dota.
Well, I've heard a saying, never underestimate your opponent's ability to throw.
That much I'll agree with. I tend to just go with never underestimate your opponent. That's the first step towards losing. But from where we sit, it's still quite the lead for first departure, and they're going to try again. They're starting to get pressure down this mid lane once more.
It's just the fact that Kingdom, I mean, they have a reasonable amount of damage if they can just focus on one target and bring him down with the Eye of the Storm and just the right clicks, but they will need a huge epicenter, which actually is level 2 by now as well, and this time around, they are the ones in possession of a gem. And have first departure picked up a new one? No, they have not, so it's at least Kingdom, they can use Moonlight Shadow to maybe get some ganks, get some surprising kills.
That can certainly help, yes, but I'm wondering if just ganks and kills are going to be enough. I mean, for Kingdom, if they get a couple of ganks and kills, they open some space, they open time. But if first departure decide at any point in the next 3 minutes, like, yeah, we're just going to win this game now, they can.
Yeah, it's most likely true as well at the moment. It's just Kingdom, they don't still they don't have the first Battle Fury on Yomo, and unless he's holding the items on the ground. Actually, there is a Claymore on the ground, so he's a little bit closer than I imagined. So actually only like 450 gold away from it, but still it's gonna be like 29 minutes Battle Fury. It is slow.
It is very slow, and equally we have to consider another thing. In 250 gold's time, Aghanim's Scepter Ancient Apparition will be on the board.
Oh wow, that's going to be extremely scary. And wow, there's a BKB finished on Miracle as well now, so he can initiate without a worry in the world now. And new gem purchased by KS as well for their team, so they are ready to go.
They are indeed ready to go, and off the back of all of their ultimates being up, they need 75 gold for that Aghanim's. I'll make that less than 10 now. When that Aghanim's is online, they have everything they could possibly want, and I expect a high ground push. I mean, just the sheer power of an Aghanim's Scepter on Kai would be enough to push high ground, but having an 18-second, you're not going to heal and you're going to shatter and take a lot more damage, is phenomenally high.
Yeah, and we get another post since Mirana once again having some issues, crashing probably. But like you mentioned, the Ice Blast, 17 second, level 2 Ice Blast as well added. The supports, if they get hit, there's just no way around it, but go back to the base, wait for the duration to wear off, and then rejoin the fight. Otherwise, you are just dead.
Near enough. I mean, it's just the sheer threat and power of an Ancient Apparition. And part of me wonders, how can Kingdom fight into this? They need to, A, dodge the AA Ice Blast, B, take a good fight and silence the Brewmaster so he cannot get off that Primal Split, and C, kill everything that moves. That's a tall order.
Yeah, it certainly is, I mean, considering how tanky actually some of First Departure is. And they do have only 1 point on Alfield at the moment. I was a little bit expecting him to go for more up against Epicenters and Mystic Flares. As you speaking of Mystic Flare, I haven't really seen too many of them, to be honest, in this game.
No, there've been less Mystic Flares than I would generally expect, but he has dropped some good ones. I mean, we've seen Miracle die to a few on that Batrider. I mean, he's 3, 5, and 9. 3 of those deaths were to Mystic Flare.
Yeah, that's true enough. So we'll see how well they can set it up. Of course, Miracle now, he has the BKB. If he just activates it at the right time as well when he is going in, it's just going to be somebody caught out of position so bad. I mean, with the 4 staff, he can easily bring them to his own team.
Indeed, he can. And look at the lineup and how split up First Departure are. And now we see the Blink Dagger aggression. They do catch Desolai on that Razor. That's a pretty big one. BKB activated by Dapper as well. In comes the Epicenter potential though. It's doing good damage. It's doing huge damage to Luppy as well as Kai. But they need to get it back. They need to stay alive. And in the meantime, you've got Brewmaster going aggressive with that Primal Split. But they need objectives. They're just going to go back for the tower. They don't want to overextend. And this is tactical Dota. This is well thought out Dota. Because we all know what happens when you dive too far.
Yeah, it's definitely something you shouldn't do at the moment. Just go for the objectives. They actually might not even get the Rex because their tower pushing isn't all that fast to begin with. Alpha actually searing chase, Mystic Flare, nope, 4-step out of it. So they're gonna be fine for the time being, but Kingdom, they do hold on. Did they have to actually waste any buybacks here? I don't think they did, so... I mean, I think a lot of this defense was just all on Smashy, the Sand King, getting a beautiful epicenter off and not even dying.
I'd be in complete agreement with that one, but Fruits eats that Ancient Apparition Ice Blast. Is that a level 2 Ice Blast? Yes, it is. He could be in some trouble, depending. I think he'll survive, yeah. He should survive. I mean, it's a large amount of damage, sure, but surely not that much.
Even if you're full HP, you're gonna survive, but it's so scary that you actually drop down to like 300 HP from 900, so it's 600 damage coming in from one global ultimate. Which is only on like a 45-second cooldown, a 40-second even, so... Yeah, it's going to be hard to be a support in this game for Kingdom.
I'm in complete agreement. Support for Kingdom, they need to be very careful, especially considering there's the threat of Ice Blast, as well as the Primal Split Brewmaster, and the Bat Rider on top of that. It's a staggeringly large amount that Kingdom needs to do to fight their way back into this one, but we've seen them pull miracles, specifically in game number 1.
Yeah, and another Ice Blast is flying. Does KS really want to go in? Ice Blast actually connects on free as well. I mean, one Thunderclap onto Fruits, it would be enough to be honest, but Brewmaster not going to risk it, not when he's just completely solo there, without the Primal Split as well.
I'll be in complete agreement with that, and we do see the potential push coming from mid lane now. KS looking to start pushing up this mid lane. I should think Mikasa, what is the Miracle even? What's he going to be looking for next? He's got his BKB, he's got Force, he's got Blink, he's got a Gem. If anything, he'd want a Shivas, but that's still too far away to really farm. I think it's just farming for a buyback, just to have that certainly in. Right now, you've got the 3 top net worth of the game being 3 cores of First Departure. They need to find something off the back of that. I mean, if they just sit and go for Roshan then into the base, that'll give them the best advantage they could possibly want. If they go for Roshan and then just wait, it gives Kingdom time.
Yeah, I think it just get Roshan and go straight out. I mean, they have all their ultimates after all. Do they have Aghanim Splitter finish? Yes, they do, up on Dafa. So, level 3 Viper Strike, 12-second cooldown. Razor does finish up his own BKB in the meantime, but... I mean, can he actually even activate it properly when Miracle is trying to go for him? And speaking of Miracles and his initiations, who do you actually think is the primary target on Kingdom to kill?
Ember Spirit, hands down. If the Ember Spirit gets off enough of this damage, that'll be huge. The other target could be the Razor, of course. Either of them would be good, though. I mean, Yomu is still fairly squishy to physical damage, and one thing I will point out, we do have a Mask of Badness picked up on Miracle, just so he has that movement speed.
Well, it's not a bad item. Of course, if you go for Razor, you're going to get Purge straight away, so extra movement speed will come in handy. But if you catch anybody else, then just, oh man, he's going to be so far out of position all of a sudden. And looking at the buyback status, how many do they? Well, Radiant, 0 buybacks.
0 buybacks, and you've also got to consider 2 of their cores, the Razor and the Ember Spirit, got hit by an Ice Blast just now, so that's going to force them back to the well for a little bit. And this is the Death Ball push coming. This is the fight we want to see, and you can see how spread out First Departure are. They're ready for any shenanigans from the Ember Spirit. We do get that Miracle rotation in from Bat Rider. Has his BKB pop. Looking for the Razor. We'll find him. 4-star out, and that's going to be a good target. Ice Blast's going to fly in as well. That impacts on 3. That's huge. The epicenter drops as well, but it does not matter. It's nowhere near enough. Desolate is the focus, and he could potentially go down. Mystic Flare's going to drop, but it's not enough to bring down Miracle. Fruits will take the fall, and this could be all she wrote. Star will get the Viper Strike treatment and take a good amount of damage. Equally, you've got the Ember Spirit Sleight of Fist flying around, but is this going to be the tower finally? I think it might be, and KS looking to finish off that Ember, doesn't quite manage to do so. The tier 3 does fall. Now they're going to start looking for those racks, and Daffa, low health, sure, but he is damn tanky, and he has that Aegis as well, so he's not exactly scared for his life. Lubby's going to blink in, find himself an arrow. That's a pretty good spell for him to steal if he can start landing them, but it's going to be a case of mid-racks. This is everything First Departure could possibly want. And sure, you've got the Ember poking and prodding at you, but you really don't care. It doesn't do enough damage at this point. But Smash, he does a good bar of but in comes the Ice Blast, does huge damage to Star, catches Yomu as well, who also is stunned out by the Rubik's stolen arrow. And it's going to be very rough. In comes Mirana, in comes Miracle as well, looking to finish off the Ember, but he's got that Ice Blast on him. He could potentially go down and will do to the AA Ice Blast. Kai picks up another kill. They lose Miracle, but they kill 3 heroes and get a full set of racks near enough. They lose the Brew as well from hanging around in the Mystic Flare, and they're actually not going to be able to get the range racks. But still, they killed the melee racks, which is the important one.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually pretty damn close. Brewmaster, he survived with like 12 HP from that Mystic Flare, but the creeps with the Siege Creep as well on toe, so creeps helping out a little bit for Kingdom, but melee racks down, the more important ones like you mentioned. And First Departure, I just think they are far enough ahead at this point in time to not actually suffer from a comeback from Kingdom this game. Just because Ember Spirit, yes, he can just come back rather easy, but he needs farm for it, which he's just not getting.
And I've actually lagged out and disconnected.
Yeah, same here. So might be the servers completely. I mean,
Hopefully
sometimes the
not.
servers lag, but I just got disconnected completely now.
Hopefully not. I'm trying to load back in. We should be back underway, hopefully.
One can hope indeed. I mean, First Departure, looking good so far. Once again, they went a little bit too deep, especially in Miracle. Without the BKB going in, Mask of Madness, I do believe, was also activated. Just got stunned up under the tier 4s, and well, he is definitely not tanky enough to just take that kind of punishment.
I would be in complete agreement to that.
Ooh, everybody disconnected. At least somebody got the pause on the game at some point. I'm not too sure how much time actually passed here. But
Hopefully not too much, but it seems the game's being resumed for some reason. Desolate.
Oh, you sneaky bastard. So guys, go now! Go! Down the mid lane. But looks like everybody is just slowly reconnecting.
Slowly,
not
but
even that
sure.
slow.
Hopefully we'll be underway. Hopefully the servers will manage to stay alive for that little bit longer just so we can get to the finality of this game.
Yeah, and looking at the graphs now as well, a 15,000 gold lead for First Departure. 10k XP as well. Just solid lead. I mean, I guess we've seen bigger ones 36 minutes in, but it is definitely good enough to make it so the Kingdom actually can't strike back. I mean, they do have a triple core lineup once again, Mirana, Razor, as well as the Ember Spirit, but they are just lacking the items to actually feel like proper cores.
I will completely agree for that. I mean, just the lack of power, the lack of BKBs from Kingdom's lineup, it's just making them suffer. I mean, you've got First Departure picking them apart like a carcass rotting in the savannah.
Yeah, well,
I have a way with words, what can I say?
yeah, it wasn't a pretty sight when I tried to imagine it, man. That's all I can say.
That's the point. But it seems we're going to be back underway. The pressure is, of course, in favor of First Departure still. We look at the gold graph, that's a 15,000 gold lead, as well as a 10,000 experience lead. Quite the large difference.
Actually, both teams have a gem at the moment. Smashy, I'm not even too sure if it was the gem that they got, the first one they got away from First Departure, or gems have traded hands in between. But oh, never mind, yeah, it was the first one. Batrider holding on to the second one purchased by KS. But First Departure, they are coming down the bottom lane. They still have the Aegis, I believe. Yes, they do. For how long? And well, since they reconnect, I don't have the timer.
I do not either. That's slightly concerning. I'm not actually sure. We're going to have to just keep an eye on that, I suppose. But from where we sit, let's just keep the momentum flowing. We've got Chaos pushing in this bottom lane with the rest of his lineup, and they just want to take another tier 3. And they certainly can. You've got Desolate set up to defend. He's got a BKB and a mech, but he just doesn't have the right-click damage at this point. Same for Star. He's got a Mjolnir, and he's got one piece of a BKB. They are just lacking in terms of gold so heavily.
Yeah, they are indeed, and well, I know who isn't lacking Dafa. 4.6k gold in the bank. Might be Heart of Tarasquil. Anything he really wants can be the next pickup for him. And he's slowly starting to siege that tower down. Although it's going to be pretty slow, especially from the low ground with Dafa missing quite a lot of the right clicks.
Indeed, and now we have that setup starting. You've got Dafa hit with a Lincoln Sphere coming out of the brew, and honestly, that's probably the perfect choice. And he's getting some damage onto that tier 3 already. That's starting to fall. Arrow's going to fly in, going to impact him straight into the face, but I don't think he's really that scared, considering you've got Miracle jumping in. Now the fight starts off, you get the Ice Blast over everyone. In comes the Primal Split though, and there's going to be no stopping that. You can't silence that Brew anymore, and Yomu taking a good amount of damage, Fire Remnants flying around as well, but it does not matter. Desole will take a fall, and just the sheer damage potential of First Departure right now is just too damn high. But in comes Smashy, looking to try to at least kill Dapper with that Epicenter, does manage to at least force the Aegis, but of course the Aegis, he's going to come back up in a few seconds time. KS does eat a Mystic Cloud, but he just tanks it. He is that tanky at this point. KS just doesn't give a damn. He doesn't even blink, and this tier 3 is still falling.
Yeah, and Ember Spirit actually used the Remnants to get rid of the Viper Strike. I mean, he got hit anyway by the end, but at least he was at the safe distance. Start trying to defend as well. Oh, will anybody die? Fruits? Yes, he will. He's gonna go down. Link and Skias doesn't get even affected by the Burrow Strike. And Tower slowly but surely is gonna go down. Lasso once again off cooldown. They get Smashy. Sand King, he's gonna fall, lose his life here. And this might be Rax. I mean, Sand King has buyback, but the rest of the two heroes that are dead, they don't.
I think this is going to be Rax and potentially Game here. They're going to just get that final Rax in the melee and off the back of these two. Hell, that Rax already went down to the creeps. This is actually absolutely perfect coming out of First Departure, and they're going to be able to find a kill, most likely on Star as well. In comes a TP from the Razor, looking to try to get into the middle of this. Yomu continuing to be a pest, but in come the BKBs. Viper Strike goes straight onto Desole. He's only going to manage to steal 84 damage, but Ice Blast is going to fly through. Does impact on one, but either storms up, make that impact on two, and I don't think they really can fight this anymore. They're just going to reset and go again, in my mind. They have Primal Split coming up in 7 seconds. They have everything they could possibly need. This is a long, drawn-out team fight to have 2 Primal Splits, but my point still stands. In comes the BKB. In comes the TPs looking to try to catch Miracle. He's going to BKB. He wants to run. He wants to escape this one and will successfully do so. You cannot keep up with that Bat Rider. Smashy's trying to come forward a little bit more, but cannot manage to do so. And now back on that bottom lane, you've still got Lubby as well as KS ready to continue this fight. Do we have a Stolen Epicenter? No, we don't. We've got an arrow. Oh, God, they are hiding. They are playing ninja strategies right here.
Oh, man, are you kidding me? Both of them at the same place. Tafa, though, might be in a lot of trouble. Burrow Strike up first. Mystic Flare to follow up as well. He's pretty damn tanky. Pops the mech, but can he stand up to 3 enemy heroes? I don't think he can. Arrow stolen. Fruits, he goes down before the Viper. Can they get the counter skis? He's not close enough for the Thunderclap. And Star, leap on cooldown, Thunderclap, a few more crits, Telekinesis up as well into the air. Do they have the nukes, Fate Bolt on cooldown? But the last right click, no, he's still alive. Can he actually remain? So he's going for the TP out.
And he's actually safe. But in the meantime, Smashy will be turned around and be the victim here. But still, Mirana escaping that was pretty damn good. But where we stand, Miracle is back on lane. He is back alive. He's looking just to push in this creep wave. And honestly, with 2 heroes down, being it the Sand King, who has his Epicenter once more, as well as the Skywrath Mage, can they really defend this anymore?
Well, it's going to be extremely hard if they can, even. I mean, Crystallis has been picked up by Ember Spirit, helps out a little bit, but he can't really leave the base for another 9 seconds or so. I mean, you just have to wait for the Ice Blast to end. And in the meantime, First Departure, they're going for the Rax, but without the Viper, it's actually not going as fast. Especially considering Viper actually picked up an AC now as well, just before his death. So well, Rex, they do still stand, but Miracle, he wants to go in BKB on Desole as well. He's still going to go for the lasso. They're not going to have the damage.
He's going to put him on the high ground. He's actually stuck up there. He doesn't have a TP either. That's pretty damn impressive right there. Ice Blast's going to fly in as well, but they lose the Brewmaster in exchange. Do they have 4 stuffs to get him down? Actually, do they even have a 4 staff? Lubby picks up the killing spree. They're going to bring down Kai on the Ancient Apparition. They don't have a 4 staff yet, and they need to get a TP for getting a Razor out there. He did fall to the Ice Blast, but still, very good presence of mind to realize they have no TP. Let's put him on the high ground. This is just like 2 days ago when Mushi got stuck in the same manner.
Yeah, it's always fun to see such things happen, just high ground. Whoever gets stuck there, but First Departure, they did give away a couple of kills, which means they actually can't follow up properly on the racks anymore. Unless Miracle, oh, his lasso is coming off cooldown. He's using the Firefly Star. He's gonna have to leap to safety. Smash, actually, he blinks to the high ground, doesn't connect on the Burrow Strike. Lasso now on to Star. Dafa is gonna come in as well. Yep, Viper Strike. He's gonna go down, one more right click. They get the kill, and Dafa, can he go for more? He has the haste rune, it's gonna wear off, but... And getting such a huge kill, he has buyback, but... Even if you get him to use it, it's already a win for you.
Miracle has just been the man of the match for me in this one. He's set up so many kills. He's grabbed so many heroes and dragged them back to his team. The Viper has killed so many lassoed targets. It's borderline insane. He's 12, 6, and 11 on the Viper. Whereas you've got Miracle, who's 3, 6, and 18 on the Bat.
Yeah, it's safe to say that KDA is pretty damn strong for them. But has died maybe a little bit too much, because he has been rather aggressive throughout it all, but... since usually when he dies, it's still after he's already used the lasso for the first initial initiation. So it's been rather fine regardless as first departure. Most likely will group up now and finally get themselves that secondary set of racks.
They honestly need to, but we've got to consider some things are coming online for Kingdom. They do have that Crystallis, as you pointed out. They've now got a 4-staff on Fruits on the Skywrath Mage. Mirana has effectively a full BKB minus 150 gold. And on the Razor, he's still stuck on his same items that he's had for a good 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's really sad to see when there is no item progression at all on a hero. I guess Ember Spirit and Mirana, they can farm a little bit more safely, just having the leap as well as the remnants to rely on. So they can actually push out the lanes a little bit, whereas Razor, even if he pushes out the lanes, even with BKB, he is just not safe.
I'd be in complete agreement for that. And with the Aegis once again for first departure, as well as I believe Cheese on the Brewmaster, yep. This is going to be quite scary. I mean, you've got Aghanims, Lincoln Sphere, Blink, Cheese, and Travels on KS. This is pretty much the epitome of a max farmed brew near enough. This is worryingly scary.
Yeah, I mean, I would be scared if I was Kingdom. And BKB picked up on Mirana, but that means no buyback. So it's the last ditch effort to use the Moonlight Shadows, and where's the gem? Who is it on Miracle? He's still carrying it. Not going for the gank yet, but Plasma Field comes through. Smash, he goes in, but Berserk up without the epicenter. What the hell were they thinking? They're just gonna lose their life, that's all. They used the lasso on the Razor as well. Will they have enough physical damage to bring him down? I do believe they will, Dafa. He will make damn sure of that. So 2 heroes down. Razor has buyback, but there's no epicenter anymore, and I think without it, there's no defense.
Well, we get a buyback coming out of the Razor. He's at least wanting to get back into this one, but I don't think he can do anything. You've got Dafa still full health, and he's got an Aegis as well as his BKB still ready to go. And now you get Lubby telekineting up Fruits. Fruits could be in a lot of trouble here. He gets thrown back into an arrow, and that's going to be an easy cleanup for Dafa. Now, Desolate is the victim of a Viper Strike, but Dafa can turn around on this. Stolen damage, though, is going to be a very important thing, and KS is there just to be that big man meat shield, looking to just get in the enemy's face. Still, you've got crits falling, you've got good damage coming out of Yomu, but Ice Blast goes through, and that's going to just force everyone back. They can't really leave the well when that happens, and it is a full set of racks in that bottom lane, full set of racks in that mid lane. We are just looking for that final full set of racks, or they could just go tier 4s in my mind.
Well, Yomu, if somehow we got another 3,000 gold, maybe with a rapier, but oh, Berserk onto Miracle. He's gonna go down here, BKB activated, he should be just fine. He has the lasso as well, actually. We'll get it onto Yomu and Ember Spirit. Does he have buyback? No, he does not. And well, Mirana, the last survivor, might even lose his life here.
In fact, most likely will. You just look how aggressively KS is diving. He uses the cheese just to ensure it. Humiliation kill in the well, and well, GG is called. Game number 2 goes the way of first departure.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually a little bit harder for them to break high ground than maybe expected, but they just prevailed. Having Roshan, having Aegis plus a cheese as well. I mean, they didn't even really need it for the last fight as it was, but finally first departure showing us their strength here. Of course, Kingdom extremely well played in both games, to be honest. I mean, I did not expect it out of them, but really props to them.
Yeah, I would be in complete agreement. And 1-1 at the end of the series, I think that's a good result.
Yeah, definitely. So guys, this is gonna actually conclude it for us for the day as well. I do believe we'll be back tomorrow about 15 CEST on both channels potentially for some more jDL Asia Division 1 action. So something to look forward to for the next days as well. But as always, if you enjoyed, or I hope you enjoyed as well, and if you did, you can always follow us on this channel as well as our other English channels, HeflaTV 2 and HeflaMok, at least for Dota. All the links are below the stream as well, descriptions for what channel does what. But in any case, guys, just have a good one, and Blackadder, where can people find you?
They can find me everywhere at Mr_Blackadder on Twitch and Twitter, and I'll be firing up my own channel in about an hour and a half, just relaxing, chilling with the chat and with a good bottle of wine, I think.
Man, wine and Dota go together hand in hand.
Hey, none of that.
But guys, this is gonna be it now, so have a good one.